The favorite American story is the comeback. That's the one that always gets to us. The forgotten actress who returns to star again. The fighter who gets up off the canvas. The rally in the ninth. We've nearly forgotten the greatest American comeback of the century because it happened so long ago. It was the comeback of a whole city. The story began at 5:12 a.m., April 18th, 1906, 78 years ago tomorrow morning. Those who were there have not forgotten.
As I felt the house rocking as if some giant hand had taken it and just moved it back and forth with diabolical purpose.
And the first day I knew, my mother come and grabbed us. My brother and I were sleeping in the same bed on a couch by the feet, and we pulled us out, and the whole ceiling came down.
And we all gathered into my father's bedroom, screaming, frightened, and praying. While we're on our knees, my dad said, "Stay together, we're all going down together." And I thought that meant the end of the world.
It was the worst earthquake which had ever hit the United States. It wasn't the end of the world, but in that instant, everybody thought it was the end of San Francisco.
Well, it was like a crazy house. Everybody was crazy. They didn't know what they were doing, half the people. Just screaming and crying and carrying on. The whole sky was on fire.
And my sister and I went up the top of the telegraph field to watch the fire, and we could see the whole city burning, all in flames.
We walked down Market to First Street, and from First Street on, there were no buildings left on either side of Market Street. The earthquake had shaken the brick buildings out into Market Street, and then the fire came along and burned the buildings that were left.
The fire burned on for days until it burned itself out. The sudden shock and the raging fire left 490 city blocks leveled and about the same number of people dead.
Over there on near Telegraph Hill now was a temporary morgue. And along the Union Street side of that were lines of bodies. We presume there were bodies under there, but they were all covered with sheets. And people who had lost their kin would go to a special policeman, and he would walk along and raise the sheets so they could make a possible identification.
Most of the living had only the streets and the parks to live in. I'm talking about 100,000 people in the streets.
The chimneys of all homes being destroyed, we were obliged to eat in improvised kitchens at the street curbs, and that went on for quite some time.
We've nearly forgotten it. It happened so long ago, 78 years ago tomorrow morning. Those who were there will never forget, of course. And we would like to thank Eugene Bloch, Olivia Granucci, Antoinette Forney, Ted Huggins, and Colonel Charles Stouffer for sharing with us their memories of the great San Francisco earthquake and fire. I said this was the story of the greatest American comeback. Of all the stunning photographs that were made in those days, my favorite is this one. A family, properly dressed, sitting down to lunch in the rubble at a table set on a white tablecloth. I'd say the comeback of San Francisco began right here.